I'm back with Dr. Craig Hazen. We're discussing his new book, Five Sacred Crossings, a novel approach to reasonable faith. And Craig, let's talk about apologetics. Okay, I've been a Christian for about 10 years. I just learned what the word meant about 2 years ago. It's academic. It's a little bit scary maybe to a Christian. So help us define the word apologetics. What does it mean?
It's an age-old word, and it has run its course to a great extent. It's not a bad thing to try to recapture this idea, though. Really, it comes from a Greek word in the New Testament, apologion, which means to offer a defense. And there's a great apologist verse in Peter. It says, "Be prepared always to give an answer, an apologion, a reason for the hope that we have, with humility and reverence." But this is a great Christian tradition, and it's not just something for pointy-headed folks in academic circles. This is something that, if you think about Elijah on Mount Carmel, here he is, and he's got the prophets of Baal there, and he sets up a big contest. He's got a big pyre over here and a big pyre over here, and they throw some meat on top, and they say, which sacrifice is going to be consumed by God? This is going to prove whether Baal is God or Jehovah is God. Well, the Baal folks lost big. But that's a test. That's an objective test as to who God is and what he's all about. That wasn't lost on Jesus, and it wasn't lost on the apostles. When the apostle Paul would go into a town, his methodology was to sit outside, where there's a lot of foot traffic, and he'd give an apologion, a defense of the Christian faith to people who were wandering by. It's a great Christian tradition, and unfortunately, we've lost a little bit of our edge in that department.
Well, you can't talk about apologetics without talking about truth. In today's completely saturated media culture, the internet, information at our fingertips, America being a melting pot of different religions, what could be true to you, Craig, could be potentially completely different than what's true for me. So how does truth fit in? Why is it so important to be able to give an answer, to defend the hope that's within us?
My goodness, Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but by me. We are desperate in our culture for somebody who can paint a picture of the world that matches the way the world really is. We're just desperate for that. People think we can't know what's true. We can't really get a handle, especially on religious issues. I couldn't disagree more. In fact, the book is really dedicated to that idea. Can we know something true about religion? There's just religions everywhere. But Christianity is set apart from the others for this reason. We have a tremendous inner experience in Christ, but it doesn't end there. It's objectively true. It's true in time and space. Christianity paints a picture of the world that matches the way the world really is. We can know these things to be true. We ought not to be confused any longer. There are a huge number of religions out there, all claiming to have a particular pathway to God or salvation or enlightenment. But you know what? There really is only one path, and we can know it to be true.
So with new believers and seekers who are looking to the Christian faith and maybe just a little confused on the word apologetics and just being a heavy academic term, how does your book, The Five Sacred Crossings, offer an introductory approach to people to learn about apologetics?
There are a lot of people out there who are not going to pick up an apologetics textbook. The pointy-headed people among us who may not be interested in reading through arguments and various things. Why not incorporate some of these things into a compelling novel? It seems to me Dan Brown attempted this in the Da Vinci Code, but he got it all wrong. He did include some heavy academic material in there, but he got the wrong take on the whole thing. So why not attempt to do it with great Christian truths? Include some great philosophical and apologetic ideas right in the middle of a compelling novel that actually helped to carry the novel along. It's a great way to get introduced to these great ideas, the idea that God created everything that there is, and it all lines up in him.
Well, Five Sacred Crossings is a great way to get an introductory approach to apologetics. Also, if you want to learn more about Craig, he writes a blog for conversantlife.com. Go to conversantlife.com/blogs to check him out today.